Hey guys, welcome to my channel Veggie Sense. Today I'm sharing my vegan capirotada recipe. This is a delicious layered bread pudding that is traditionally served during Holy Week, specifically on Viernes Santo, which is Good Friday. Most Mexican Catholic families grew up eating this dessert for Lent. It's part of the culture, and I'm very happy to share this recipe with you because capirotada can be enjoyed on any occasion. It's a sweet treat that has a combination of soft and crispy as well as nutty. It's just really good. Also, I invite you to join my channel. I would truly appreciate it if you subscribed. I post vegan recipes every single week. And if you're interested in this recipe, let's begin with the main ingredients. These are the spices and sweetener that you'll need. These are very important ingredients because they give the capirotada its distinct flavor. Starting with the piloncillo on the top left. Piloncillo is made from evaporated raw cane sugar. It turns into a paste which is then molded into a cone shape. And that's how it gets its really pretty dark brown color from that process. If you're wondering what it tastes like, it's very similar to molasses and brown sugar. In fact, you can also find brown sugar piloncillo. Also, you'll need cinnamon sticks, whole cloves, and not in this image, star anise. If you can't get a hold of star anise, it's perfectly fine. It won't make a huge difference, but if you can, that would be nice. In a large pot over medium heat, add 4.5 cups of your favorite plant-based milk. I like regular soy milk for this recipe because it has a higher fat content and I'm going for that really creamy texture. You can also add the cinnamon sticks and other spices at the same time, as well as a piloncillo. And in regards to the piloncillo, you can help it dissolve faster by chopping it into pieces or even shredding it. As for me, I placed it whole. Also, you want to place a lid over your pot, but do check on it every few minutes and stir just to ensure it's not sticking to the bottom. Now onto the bread. Capirotada is usually made with hardened bolillo bread, which is very similar to a baguette. In fact, I'm using French bread. And all you have to do is cut yours into 1-inch pieces and make sure that it's completely dried out, preferably a few days old, so it's hardened. But if it's fresher than that, that's perfectly fine. You can place it in the preheated oven at 325 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes or until it hardens. And to give you an idea, these are some of the ingredients that you can add to your capirotada in between the layers to add texture and to make it sweeter. I love to add chopped pecans. That's like my favorite thing in here. Some people add a various mix of nuts and fruits. I feel that the most popular would be raisins. I do have some on the top left. As you can tell, it's like a little bit because sometimes I pick them out. I have like a love-hate relationship with them. I'm not sure if that's weird, but yeah, they're there. I sprinkled some in my capirotada, and on the right hand side you'll notice that I have shredded coconut. I didn't actually add that in here, but that's also an option, so it's pretty cool. You can definitely customize this to your taste. To make my capirotada even sweeter, I'm gonna add this vegan condensed milk. This is made from coconut milk, and I purchased this at my local health food store. Okay, and I know you might think this is really weird if you've never made capirotada and you've never heard of this, but you do add cheese to it. This is vegan cheese. On the right hand side, I have leftover Follow My Heart, and to the left I have vegan Parmesan. So yes, I definitely recommend that you add it in between the layers as well. I think it's the whole salty sweet combination and it's just perfect in here. So if you can, go ahead and add that. Trust me, you won't regret it. And about 24 minutes have gone by. The piloncillo has dissolved all the way. You can tell by the light brown color of the milk. And by the way, it smells amazing from all the spices. So what I did was remove the pot from the heat, and now I'm allowing it for it to cool down for the next step. Now that the sweet spice milk has cooled, I'm going to begin assembling. You are going to need a deep oven-safe dish to place the layers of bread. Also, vegan butter is optional, but I will be using a little bit of it. This is a good time to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and I'm going to begin by buttering the bottom of the dish as well as the sides. For this step, with your clean hands, place a few bread slices inside the pot, allowing it to soak up as much of the milk as possible. I soaked each side for about 15 seconds, and if it's soggy, that means you're doing it right, because otherwise your capirotada might dry out. And once the bread is completely soaked, just like this, be sure the spices from the milk didn't stick to the bread. And what you're gonna do next is then tear it apart with your clean hands and place it in the dish, forming a layer. This is optional, but if you like buttery bread, you can always brush on some of the melted vegan butter onto each layer. This is also the time when you are gonna add your favorite nuts. As I mentioned earlier, I love crushed pecans, so that's what I'm gonna add in here. I'm gonna sprinkle them evenly all over. You can add as many as you'd like. Also, this is a good time to add the other ingredients of choice. If you're into raisins, you can add that. Also fruit, a lot of people add slices of banana or plantain. I'm just gonna keep mine simple. I'm also gonna go in with the vegan cheese. I'm adding vegan Parmesan because Capirotada is usually made with cotija cheese, at least that's the way my mom makes it, and Parmesan is the closest to it. Also, I'm gonna drizzle condensed milk, and this completes my first layer. Like with any food, depending on the region, capirotada is made differently. For instance, my mom makes her capirotada with water instead of milk. The same spices go into it. She also doesn't add butter or condensed milk, just the piloncillo and spices. Her version is a lighter version, but nonetheless, it's just as delicious. So that's also an option if you're interested in a healthier capirotada. Now that I reached the top layer, I'm going to pour the remaining milk over the capirotada. Brush the top layer with butter, then cover the top with foil paper or an oven-safe lid, and bake in the preheated oven for 45 minutes. Halfway through baking, remove the foil paper or lid and allow the top layer to crisp up. And since every oven is different, yours might take less to cook or longer. A good way to tell if your capirotada is ready is by carefully tilting it to the side. If you see runny milk, it's not ready yet and it still needs to cook. It's not a big deal. You can just place it back in the oven, add more time, and check on it every 7 to 10 minutes or until the milk has been completely absorbed by the bread. And here is my warm capirotada. I allowed it to cool down for at least 45 minutes. For me, the longer it sits, the better. The flavors and the textures settle in. And by the way, it smells amazing. I hope you try this recipe. It's really simple to make, yet complex in texture. You have the crunchy top and sides. It's also soft and spongy at the same time. And the sweetness is not overwhelming. It's balanced out by the cheese. This is by far my favorite pudding. And I hope you like this recipe and give it a try. It's really yummy. Also, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for weekly vegan recipes. Until the next one.